Thank you, Chair. I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to move without notice that the House notes the passing of members of the economic freedom
Honourable Chair.
fighters. Honorable.
Can you please address what Honourable Shenge has just said now?
What's wrong with you?
Honourable Chair, the motion of the EFF does not comply with the new regulations. So it cannot be read because it's only the Speaker of Parliament which can allow a motion which does not comply with the regulation to be read in the House. Thank you.
Honorable Member, the
Chairperson.
regulations, if you can clarify, I think it's on Rule Book 123. And my understanding says that it has to be 5 parties. And it must be including the majority party and the largest party. So only 2 parties objected to the motion, not 5.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Chairperson. But the same rule, 123, subsection 2, number 6, it says that the motion may not contain unbecoming or offensive expressions. So that one does contain that. Because it's claiming that the ANC has made a...
Honorable Khadebe, we have not had a chance, Honorable Shivambu, we have not had a chance to listen to the motion. Can we please do that? Continue, Honorable Member.
No, Chairperson. We wanted to take that member through a quick workshop of the new rules.
Come with
so
your
that
motion.
It doesn't make the same mistakes again.
No problem, just continue
The
with
rules,
your
the only
motion.
basis upon which you don't read the motion is when there's 5 parties
I know.
objecting. So you must not do that again. So
Continue,
you are being called
Honourable
into permanent
Member.
point of order, but don't
Continue.
repeat that again.
Continue, Honorable Member, with your motion. Enkosi Sihlalo, I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to move without notice that the House notes the passing of members of the economic freedom fighters through and uncompromising ground forces. Notes that fighter Kenneth Mungomane and Tsietsi Mutibe were brutally killed in Tembisa Ward 100 in Ekurhuleni, Situga Hostel by ANC members because of hooliganism and political intolerance. Further note the passing of other fighters who passed on due to natural causes. Fighter Mama Mabel, a staff member in the headquarters of the EFF. And the councillor candidates, Fighter Matlabe Francis from Northwest, Bulukang Muwapa from Northern Cape, Brenda Mente from Eastern Cape, Fighter Sikoto from Northwest, and Fighter Matlatsi from Gauteng. Recognize these outstanding ground forces as activists in their own right, encouraged to raise our heads high, march forward in their undying memory. May their souls rest in perfect revolutionary peace. Are there any objections to the motion?
ANC objects to this motion.
The ANC. Order, honorable members.
Honorable
Order.
Chair.
Honorable Malema.
I wish to advise the Chief Whip of the
Honourable
ANC
Member.
that if you start doing those things of
Honourable
objecting
Member.
our motions, you are taking us back then,
Honorable
where we are going
Malema.
to oppose everything that you present in this house.
Honorable Member,
You are creating a wrong
this is not the
precedent. There is a
time.
new Chief Whip now. Call the German card to order, man.
Can we respond to?
Honorable members, the motion has been objected to. Now, I want to put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no.
Sorry, point of order, House Chair. House Chair, I really think that we're going down the wrong path here. We're straying away from the agreed procedure. Can I ask that with the concurrence of the Chief Whip of the EFF, this matter is referred to the Programming Committee for us to rediscuss this, because I think there's a problem with interpretation of the rules as they are here. I don't think we vote on these things in the House generally.
I've been
If there's been an
advised-
objection, it can't be put to the House.
I've been advised. I actually questioned that, and I've been advised by the table that is how the processes are gonna go. And I don't disagree with what you are suggesting. I would also want these matters to be really clarified.
Can we assist, Chair? That if the EFF
Honorable member.
Yeah.
I think Honorable Shivambu's hand was first. I'll
I
come
wanted
to
to
you.
assist him as well.
If you agree, Honorable Shivambu. Okay, Honorable Chief Whip, it's your time.
All of us obviously would like to pay our condolences to EFF members killed. The only issue is when you say, when there's no court of law that says they've been killed by the ANC, if only that part is expunged, we will indeed agree with the motion. That's what I wanted to assist with.
Honorable member, can I say that we put the motion and you objected? The issue that is raised by Honorable Steenhuisen, I'm not going to deal with the issues of the content of the motion. The issue that is raised by Honorable Steenhuisen is why I should put the question. And I was saying that's how I have been advised and that's how the guide goes. But I believe that you made a suggestion that it must go back and be clarified in the correct forum, and that will be done. I'm also not very comfortable with that, but we have to go back and understand all of us. Thank you very much. I think I've been advised by the Secretary to the National Assembly, who says, let's go where we have been. Let's not put the question. This is a motions without notice. So I pass on that, and the motion without notice will now become a notice of a motion. Thank you.
But House Chair, can we ask that it gets brought to programming on Thursday so we can have a discussion and clarify again what the procedure is?
Yes, that's what should be done. Honorable Shivambu?
Chairperson, just quickly, that you must remember that in one of the joint sittings here, when the Honorable Commander-in-Chief of the EFF said that the ANC government killed workers in Marikana, it went into court and the court reaffirmed what it said, that it can be pronounced here in Parliament. So it's narrow thinking of the ANC caucus to just object to a condolences motion in the manner they have done now.
Okay,
It's not sustainable. We're advising the Chief Whip that don't enter into wrong territory.
Honorable
It's a matter of fact that the people who killed our members in Tembisa are ANC members.
Okay.
So don't just object to that in the manner in which you have done. It's not advisable. It's not going to gain you anything. So that is one thing that you must take note of, and then you deal with it differently, because you're not going to go anywhere about it.
Honorable members, thank you very much. Let's pass. Let's not debate the issues raised. What is important is thank you. We now go to the next
But
party.
Chair, on a point of order,
Honorable member.
that thing of switching off the mic is not correct.
No, honorable members.
I don't think it's acceptable because you are restricting the freedom of this honorable member to speak in this parliament.
Honorable member, when you rise on a point of order and raise a point of order, I'll agree. The honorable member is giving an explanation that deters me from, I asked him to sit and he doesn't. So I get what you are saying.
Order,
But
Chair.
let's all respect one another.
Order,
If it's
Chair.
not let me just explain this. If it is not a point of order, it's something that needs to be debated and clarified. That can be done in that particular forum where those things are done. allow me to take point of orders and not explanations and clarifications and debate. Thank you very much. ANC?
The African National Congress moves without notice that the House welcomes the appointment of the National Assembly House Chairperson, Ms. Togo Didiza, as the Chairperson of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, Africa Region, on the 24th August 2016 in Mauritius. Notes that Ms. Didiza was elected at the 7th Commonwealth Parliament, Africa Regional Conference, and she will serve as the region chairperson for a period of 3 years. Understand that she is taking over from Ms. Sophia Swartz of Namibia, who has been the chairperson since 2013. Acknowledges that Ms. Togo Didiza previously served as the Africa Region Vice Chairperson and Sub-Regional Representative of Southern Africa, and congratulate Ms. Didiza on her appointment and wishing her a successful term of office. I so move.
Thank you. Any objection to the motion?
We object.
There is an objection, and the notice of motion, motion without notice will become a motion, a notice of a motion. IFP?
House Chair, on behalf of the Inkatha Freedom Party, I move without notice that the House knows that a series of accidents involving buses occurred on the same weekend around Durban and Underberg areas. One leaving 3 deceased and many more injuries. Further notes that on one of these buses, 50 children from Umgungundlovu district team has been on their way to the provincially indigenous games in Morgate, and the other had over 50 young girls from Durban Girls High School who were on their way back from a soccer match against Port Shepstone High School.
Again.
No problem, just continue with your
The
motion.
only basis upon which you don't read the motion is when there's 5 parties
I know.
objecting. So you must not do that again. So you are being
Continue,
called into
Honorable
permanent
Member.
point of order, but don't
Continue.
repeat that again.
Continue, Honorable Member, with your motion.
Enkosi Sihlalo, I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to move without notice that the House notes the passing of members of the economic freedom fighters through and uncompromising ground forces. Notes that fighter Kenneth Mungomane and Tsietsi Muthibe were brutally killed in Tembisa Ward 100 in Ekurhuleni, Situga Hostel by ANC members because of hooliganism and political intolerance. Further note the passing of other fighters who passed on due to natural causes. Fighter Mama Mabel, a staff member in the headquarters of the EFF. And the councillor candidates, fighter Matlabe Francis from Northwest, Bulukang Muwapa from Northern Cape, Brenda Mente from Eastern Cape. Thank you, Chair. I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to move without notice that the House notes the passing of members of the economic freedom
Honourable
fighters.
Chair.
Honorable.
Can you
Madam.
please address what Honorable Shivhambu has just said now?
What's wrong with you?
Honorable Chair, the motion of the EFF does not comply with the new regulations. So it cannot be read because it's only the Speaker of Parliament which can allow a motion which does not comply with the regulation to be read in the House. Section 2, number 6, it says that the motion may not contain unbecoming or offensive expressions. So that one does contain that because it's claiming that the ANC has made a...
Honorable Khadebe, we have not had a chance, Honorable Shivambu, we have not had a chance to listen to the motion. Can we please do that? Continue, Honorable Member.
No, Chairperson. We wanted to take that member through a quick workshop of the new
No,
rules.
come with
so
your
that
motion.
It doesn't make the same mistakes. Thank you.
Honorable member, the
Chairperson.
regulations, if you can clarify, I think it's on Rule Book 123. And my understanding says that it has to be 5 parties. And it must be including the majority party and the largest party. So only 2 parties objected to the motion, not 5.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Chairperson. But the same rule, 123,